Yes, yes it is. You saw the title. You know what this is. We all know what this is. I hate to inform everybody that the next 100-hour killer is not in fact Skull Merchant. It is the Trapper. Okay. All right. I don't know. Maybe Trapper is actually the answer I've been seeking this whole time. Maybe. Maybe. Howdy, hey, hi, kid. The Crapper? Listen. We don't judge. We don't judge. How's my day been? Honestly, I had a pretty terrible day, if I'm 100% honest. Family drama combined with some tax problems. But I'm not going to think about that now because we're streaming. Hi, Farah. Hi, Lynx. But I'm going to forget my woes as we play the best, most OP killer of all time. The Yapper. Any build? You'll see the build. Don't worry. We got only the best build. Only the best build, chat. I think the build I'm going to come up with tonight is going to carry me. It's going to carry me through the 100 hours on Trapper that we're totally, definitely doing forever. Create your own behavior. I have this. I already have a behavior account. Okay. Before. Yeah, tomorrow's another day. We'll see. Before we get into our build, we do have to get into our cosmetics, right? That's far more important than whatever we're bringing into the trial. Let's see, what options do we have? Yes. Yes. Okay. 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 And then the machete. Yes. 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 Okay. All right. So first off, we're bringing padded jaws. Okay? Because of course we are. Okay? Second off, we're bringing Shattered Hope. You guys thought there was more to the build? No. No, of course not. You're not feeling it today? Well, sorry to hear that, other links. They will tremble. Tremble at us, chat. Got a job. I heard about the job offer. That's good. I don't know. I had to call the IRS or something today, and then I had to call them again tomorrow. And I also had to get my passport worked out tomorrow because I got the paperwork. I just had to go get it set up at the post office. Trapper, he doesn't need more. He's Trapper. He's the face of the game. You think he needs more than this? Padded Jaws and Shattered Hope? Yeah. Yeah. See, I'm doing the thing I said in the video. I'm running full meta. Look at grass. We're good. We're in the clear, chat. Okay, maybe this is just me, by the way. I feel like padded jaws should make the bear traps actually padded. It's fine. What's the worst that can happen? Grass is always good. Yes, it is. As I put all of my traps on just on pallets. It's fine. What's the worst that can happen? Trust. Should be visually... Yeah, of course they should. I don't know why they aren't. Long gets away, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Start working my way over here. Padded jaws, do your job, do your job. Hell yeah! I don't like grass nor the sun. Why? Because it's coarse and grainy and it gets everywhere? I think I still get her, actually. Yeah, the window's right there. Legion is kill switch, so I can't finish the P100. Yeah! I don't know exactly what the bug was to make Legion kill switch. How the fuck is... I mean... Look at this trapper power, chat. Look at this. What are they to do? I think Meg goes second. She does. She goes second. Trapper gameplay. I cannot believe no one is coming for this right now. I could just watch this from here. Hell yeah. I cannot believe that fucking worked. I think we're gonna have a good night, chat. Wow. Look at my build. I'm a tryhard, chat. Someone screenshot this, please. Screenshot this screen. Please. And put it in the Discord for the love of everything. Like, oh my god. I wasn't even gonna camp, and then no one came for it. Oh my god. That is the dumbest fucking thing. You cannot make this up. How horrible CapCut is, but still have fun creating it. I've never used CapCut personally. I've heard mixed opinions on it. A lot of people like how like simple it is. Thank you, Kit. Thank you. Where'd you put it? Gaming Talk. Cannot believe they're mad about that. Oh my fucking god. Oh my god. How the game's been? Our first match of the day with the clearly overpowered Trapper build. We got a 4K by camping a basement. That is so fucking stupid that worked. But if you actually want to make anything, you have to pay up. You can, yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a payment system. I mean, I pay for my editing software, but it's like a yearly payment. Oh no, I got it. I got it. I thank you. I already posted it somewhere else. Fuck it. Give Trapper and Bubba 2 basements because they're the enemies. The entities of muffins. It's not a word I would use to describe anything. That's fucking funny. This match is gonna go horribly. I can already see it coming. Oh my god. I still got 3K blood points for that match, by the way. That's insane. Also, Chad, I sat down and did some math, by the way. Fun fact about the 100 hours of any killer. After doing the math, turns out that if I just play 10 matches a day of the killer I'm currently doing, I could probably get it done in about 2 months. And that's like taking the minimum amount of time a match takes. Now, is it possible for me to do that? Probably. Maybe. Probably not. I'd probably go insane, to be honest. 10 matches of DVD a day? I'm not sure where to start. I use Wondershare. Wondershare does have a free version, and you get most of it. It just leaves the watermark. It's the big thing that happens when you don't pay for it. So I would recommend looking into Wondershare if you want to start editing something. I don't know if it's available on the phone. I don't believe it is. But that's what I use. It's really simple, at least in my opinion. It's really simple. It's really intuitive. It has like preset transitions and stuff too you can use, which is really nice. Pre-made filters. It has a lot of things that like I really, really enjoy in editing software. Are you doing a fucking boon? Or a totem? I heard that. You're lucky I don't know where they spawn on this map. Ah, I thought she'd go right after the hit. Yeah. No. She makes that. Boil over. What's your opinion on DaVinci Resolve? I don't like DaVinci Resolve. Which is blasphemous to say, because a lot of people love DaVinci. Editing software is a weird thing, because what I've noticed is that it depends on what you learn with. If you learn with a certain software, using... Can I put it in? You can't. That's dumb. If you learn with a certain software, using another software is not easy to learn and pick up again. So since I started with Wondershare, that's how I learned how to edit. If I use DaVinci, it looks like fucking calculus to me. I've never even heard of that Microsoft one, if I'm 100% honest with you. I can't believe you just let me have that. Good shit. You can't loop that. You can't loop that one either. I faked it the whole time, Yui. Oh, we're just doing that? Oh, you have boil over too? Reset that. Okay. Fine. I can do this. Me forgetting that padded jaws makes it so they don't get injured at all. Why would you ever run this fucking add-on? I thought he wouldn't fall for it. I definitely thought he would double back. They're gonna heal up. I can break this. Okay, Steve's back up already. They're going right back up for her. Is what's it called back? Is We're Gonna Live Forever back up? In the bonus game? I mean, you'd be surprised. Some people would call that a good enough reason. She makes that. Yeah, she 100% makes that. They are running out of pallets, though. Hi. He fucked that up so hard. Okay. What am I hearing? I feel like I'm hearing something. I mean, damn it, they're gonna be mean about it. I can be mean about it. Put a drag legion down with it. Exactly. Is Steve at stage 2 from this? Was it worth it? He still had it? Was that not 15 seconds? I guess it wasn't. We don't pick up. We go interrupt the heal real quick. Good shit. Massive contrast to the first match. Could be actually BT. That would be shocking. Good on them for actually bringing it, though, and knowing it's good. I got Yui back up. That's fine. I'll take it. It works for me. I got Adam back up. Okay, they're gonna get Steve back off the hook now. Morrowed brine. At this point, I'm kind of just stopping the healing. That works for me, Yuri. I'm gonna reset this real quick. Steve's probably off healing. There's someone. Only thing he has here is a window, I think. Does he have decisive? He probably does. Decisive? No, no decisive. Wow. I got a kill out of it somehow, and they're gonna reset. But I think it's just these. I think it's just these two gens over here. But if they're resetting, I think they were fine. Yeah, borrowed time is actually super good. I really feel like I don't understand why people don't run it more, especially when people complain about tunneling all the time. It is like one of the best tools against it because it messes up killer timings. Which is... I thought the barrel was someone's feet. Which is massive. I think I just have to let the boat one go and just worry on these. Because it can't be used selfishly? Yeah, exactly, yeah. Main reason for anything not being run, usually. It's because it doesn't help you, it helps your teammate. I think I just lose off of that. He waited up top, too. You think he lands on that? Okay, hit her. Oh, do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. I'll get my hook. Set that up now. Set this up now. They're going to come back for this. Imagine bringing something to help the team in a team-centric game. I know, right? They went around. She doesn't just leave? Why? Why would you not just leave? Oh, that'll do it. Put him down there. Well, we get at him at least. I drawed with padded jaws and shattered hope. See, it's OP, Chad, I'm telling you. Background player, Saboteur, Breakout. Was it? It was, yeah, Yui had We're Gonna Live Forever. Okay. We're Gonna Live Forever, Hyper Focus, Takeout, we'll make it. Saboteur, Breakout, Finesse, Windows. You know, I never thought about it. Does Breakout work when you're slugged? Like, if someone's slugged next to the like, if someone's slugged and I pick someone else up. No borrowed time. Yeah, that was weird. Maybe I just miscounted. I mean, 15 seconds is a long-ass time. It's a long-ass time. It doesn't feel like it, like, when you, like, say it out loud, but when you're, like, experiencing it, it definitely does. It could be tested. It could. I don't know why I didn't just go straight for the honing stone. Five seconds makes a huge difference in a time. Yeah, exactly. I mean, well, it's not even the fact that, like, the 5 seconds is a difference. It's just like, it's the fact that even, like, trying to feel it out, 15 seconds is a long time to just feel out, unless I'm counting it in my head, you know? What are the challenges? Are there new ones? There's new ones, right? No, just, okay. Just do blood gens. It's the only one I have left. So. Yeah, they wanted to make a third. The difference was with that, though, and I've said this for a while with the anti-tunnel thing. If they just made it so you had no collision and you couldn't do anything except for do a generator or heal, or no, not even that. The moment you heal or do a generator, then you can do things again. I think it would have been fine. Do planks? Yeah, that used to be a punishment in the military. Was planks. There was a old there was an old so it's called smoking people. Is when you like make them like do exercises because they did something wrong. There was an old smoking thing we used to do called hold the pin. Chad, if you have access to a pin, I want you to hold both ends of the pin with just your index fingers. Just hold the pin, both ends of the pin with your index fingers. So like the tip is on one and the little part that makes it go out is on the other. And then I want you to hold your arms straight out with just the pin. And I want you to hold it there. It doesn't feel bad till about 2 minutes pass. Seconds matter. I can't believe I'm going to a concert next week, chat. Oh, yeah, I can't see anything. Let's go. You know what's funny? I have thought about Sabo squads and flashlights so little because I've been playing Pyramid Head so much. Stop mentally torturing me. Because Pyramid Head doesn't give a fuck. What a weird way to pass that, Sable. You know, I've said this for a while. I really, really hate that survivors can just do a gen while you're hooking somebody like that. I've said this for a while. I think that's honestly such a big problem. Is it's just like it's this idea of like I don't know. It's one thing I think VHS got right. When you hit somebody, it does like a little like area that like stops them from doing anything for a couple seconds. I just hate that the safest time for a survivor in this game is when you're carrying somebody. I hate that. It should not be that way. Oh, I thought you were going to take the window, Sable. Do you have decisive? No. I'm sorry, will to live? Oh, it makes pickups feel good. It makes drops feel good. I love dropping people when you have Forever Entwined. It feels so fucking satisfying. Do I have... No, I don't have any traps over here. I got this one, I guess. Yeah, I have, like, no reason to go over in that half of the map, really. Hi, Jane. Bye, Jane. Just gonna reset this back up and go kick your Jen. Just get the fuck up. It's like, it's so funny, and I understand why they had to make it so it doesn't stack as much as it did. Hi, David. Hi, David. Yeah, I preset that up a while ago, David. That right there, by the way, what just happened with David, that's why you play Trapper. That shit feels so good when it works. You feel like a genius. And then you feel like an idiot when shit like that happens. Oh, I thought for sure he'd double back there. That's fine by me. I don't know what that ace thought the plan was there, but it did not work out how I feel he thought it would. I was gonna say, Ace, I've seen literally no exhaustion perk. I'm waiting out dead hard. Reverence One is the best thing from Tokyo Ghoul. 100%. I have everyone on Death Hook. Oh my god, David. So if I wrap around this way... Take the window, Ace. New Cousin Burks look game genuinely so happy with. Oh, you got more? Or was it just the ones you were showing off earlier? What are you doing here? What were you doing there, Sable? The ones you were showing off earlier? Okay, fair enough. I don't think I could have played a nicer match of Dead by Daylight. Figured out how to animate. I saw. That's good. I don't think Jane's probably gonna get hatch. Just gonna break a couple pallets. I would be curious if for a Trapper buff, because I've talked before how like it's really hard to buff Trapper without making him more annoying. I would be genuinely curious what would happen if they just made his traps bigger. Such a good Mori, chat. Such a good Mori. Head on, quick and quiet, conviction, plot twist, resurgence, deja vu, self-preservation, fixated. Dark sense. Oh, that Sable's new. Oh, there's no way. Yeah, she's running This Is Not Happening. That was a brand new player. Oh yeah, David had dead art. I forgot. Also, I'm stupid. I did see an exhaustion perk from Ace. I just always forget head on. If I keep winning with Shattered Hope, yeah, they're gonna bring that fucking. They're gonna bring that range or that timer down to fucking 2 seconds. Oh, fuck. You're so right. Who am I leveling? Oh no, I'm still leveling up Sadaka. Okay. We played 3 matches of this, chat, and I have won. I have won 2 of them. It's just fucking so stupid. It's my boy. He's doing it. Right. Gonna change up the cosmetic. We're gonna go. We're gonna make him look amazing. Hmm. Give him magic traps. What do you mean by magic traps? I actually got to dig it with this. I love that this mask is like that. Oh, face. The Decapitator. Is it? I've never realized that skin is just... It just adds a thing to the base cleaver. Huh. There. We're set. We're set. This skin should give you Trapper Sack automatically. It's right there, chat. It's right there. Magic traps that do something more interesting than hold you in place. I mean, like, I don't know what else, like, what else could they do? It's a bear trap. It's like the whole point of a bear trap. What if Trapper had a pickaxe similar to the fire axe that when he throws it, it has a hitbox and blocks parts of a loop? I think that's a cool idea for a killer power. The problem is, that's not Trapper. That is the problem with this character. Either the changes we do to him make him so he's not Trapper anymore, or they just make him annoying and like Skull Merchant used to be. Yeah, but fundamentally, Trapper sets bear traps. I don't think I did, Kit. I feel like it's one of those things where like I kind of go into like a fever dream sometimes where I think I look at things and I don't. I apologize. I do the same thing to Darth all the time. That's the it's like what if we buff Pig, like buff her ambush, but get rid of her reverse bear traps? Okay, now she's not Pig though. Like I don't think Myers' rework should be the standard, you know? Wasn't there? Yeah, I was gonna say there was a trap here, wasn't there? She doesn't go right to fucking Shack. Also, there's 2 cranes on this map. Are you fucking serious? Nice try. Oh. Not even fucking close, Bill. What the what was that? Why didn't Bill just do the flashlight like a normal person? It'd be a damn shame if there was another hook over here or something. This match isn't real. This isn't real. Hi, Bill. Don't do it. Don't fucking do it. Don't. Okay. Actually, I don't even need to go for these two. I don't know why I'm trying to. Yeah, all I have to do is just go for Fawn. Off the record? No, off the record. I cannot believe my man ran back. Have I been enjoying Requiem? Yeah, I actually really enjoyed Requiem. No spoilers. I know it's still a newer game. If you were a Resident Evil fan, I feel like you have to play Requiem. It was really, really enjoyable. There is a couple things I didn't like about it, but for the most part, I really, really did enjoy it. Are you shitting me? I didn't get that even with Bloodlust? Oh no, she's got breakdown too. Okay. I can't believe Bill did not go for the save there. There you are. Well, Carlos, we gotta wait because reasons. I would love Grace in DBD. I actually think she fits in DBD more than any other Resident Evil character. Oh, they did so much fan service in Requiem. It was kind of insane. Okay, there we go. Alright. GG's. I cannot believe it. $500K in one game is. I just got $300K for that. It's so stupid. Now we were in a cruel Carlosless world. Lots of Saba builds. So now who made the video? Who did it? Who did it? Can't fucking believe it. I just can't believe it. What do you mean I haven't gotten an iridescent malicious? Are you serious? It's because I'm playing Trapper. The Trapper. This is so fucking stupid that this worked. That's what, 3 out of the 4 matches? And we draw the one match? Who is Sabo and why is building? I enjoyed playing both. I wasn't, like... I didn't hate the Grace sections. There is one part of the game I did not enjoy as Grace. One part. And I can't say it because it'll spoil things. But there's one thing I did not like. Who will win? A Trapper with Shattered Hope and Padded Jaws. Don't forget Padded Jaws. It's very important. Or a Sable with no Mither. Well, the reason why Trapper is kind of the teacher of Killer isn't because of his power necessarily. It's because Wraith has mobility because he gets around the map and he stealths. So that doesn't play like how a normal Killer plays. And Hillbilly has a dash, so a lot of times he's going for M2s, not M1s. Nurse blinks. So, like, of these 4, he's technically speaking, the most basic. Because, again, while Wraith is technically speaking the most basic of the 4, from a pure, like, what he does perspective, it's how he does it that makes him not basic. When Trapper doesn't have a trap and a loop, he is playing the most basic game of Dead by Daylight. And I think that's why he's the teacher, in my opinion. Wraith can still cloak and, like, do, like, his speed boost stuff. So, like, he still has options in a loop. Hillbilly has options in a loop, too, if you can learn to curve and things like that, and how to use the M2. But Trapper, if he doesn't have a trap on him, or a trap in the loop, he is the most basic Killer in the entire game. I also think he's a really good teacher for new players because the traps can, like that match right there, like I set one up on the window. I set one up on the window and, like, I randomly got a bill later, right? So, like, it's not the strategic side of that. Like, a normal, like, even a new player might be like, oh, well, they vault windows. I'll put this trap on this window. And then later in the match, it gets you a kill. Like, I think that's why he works as a new player teaching tool. Wraith is a better teacher. He's actually viable. I don't think that should matter. I don't think a Killer that is viable should be I don't think a Killer that teaches players the game has to be viable. A good example I bring up all the time is Garen in League of Legends. He is terrible. He's a terrible... Well, okay, sometimes he's in the meta. But very, very, very seldomly, he is in the meta. But he's really, really good at teaching people the basics of the game. For me, advanced or middle advanced teacher is Wraith because he teaches you more of the over... Yeah, no, I agree with that for sure. I could see that. And then Hillbilly is very good at teaching you the dash killers, and then Huntress is very good at teaching you basic range fundamentals. The only outlier is Nurse, really, but that's because Nurse is Nurse. I don't know why they aren't free on console or on Steam. I really don't. Or PC gets what, Huntress? PC gets Huntress for free, right? Also, I just watched the new Silent Hill, and it was some of the best delicious garbage I've had in a bit. I liked Silent Hill F. I really did. Wraith can press him too and goes invisible and fast. Well, yeah, no, I get that, but like that's my thing. Like he teaches you. He teaches you the more like he's ironically, even though Trapper is the macro killer, Wraith kind of teaches you how to be better at the macro better, and gets you more into the flow state of Dead by Daylight. Is Huntress the free one on PC? I always forget. Nurse is the teacher of how much deeply you want to play Dead by Daylight. Oh, Return to Silent Hill, the movie. Oh. Yeah, we don't talk about that here. Huntress free on. What does PC get? What does Steam get for free? Anything? This is bullshit. Most versions, Huntress is free. I mean, fair enough. She is honestly like the most popular character in the game, so like that makes sense. That's so weird that Steam doesn't get a free one. Nurse is the teacher of those damn survivors. Survivors. Always thinking they're better than me. They're selfish. Who do they think they are? Also, chat, if you're curious what this week's video is, it's in pre-production now. I'm still writing things out. It is talking about killer thematics and identity versus viability. That is what this week's video is on. And I think this is going to be another one, much like my last one, that some people are not going to like my take on it. Bill was until everyone got him. That's true. Basically, the conversation we just had about Trapper earlier is what the video is going to be about. Because, again, I don't know how you keep Trapper's identity and buff him in a way where he's not, like, annoying while also making him viable. She's also a teacher. That's the weird thing I've always said about, like, when they make perks for new players. Like, Unknown is a very good example of this. Oh, Myers is 100% game. I can actually tell you the list of killers I have on my bullet points real quick. Hang on. I've got Trapper, Ghostface, and Legion for the ones who can't be buffed without ruining their identity. And then I've got Blight, Ghoul, and Twins as ones who can't be really nerfed without changing their identity. And then Myers is like and I have Myers in big text that says best example of old versus new who went from weak to decent. Yeah, because like Unbound is for like middle. I don't. The thing is, Behavior has said that the perk designs are supposed to be, one of the perks is for new players, one is for experienced players, and one is supposed to be for fun. I'm confident that Undone is supposed to be for new players. I don't know which one of these is supposed to be for fun. I'm assuming it's Unforeseen. and then Unbound is for for good players or veteran players. But the thing is, because they did this with Resident Evil 2, right? Because if you look at Leon, like Rookie's Spirit is a very new player perk. This is an extremely new player friendly perk. The thing is, if you're a new player and you don't own Leon, you're not getting this perk. So why does it matter, you know? I've always found Hunters to be one of the more accessible killers. You can play her like a shooter, her character and appearance are creepy and cool. Yeah, I think Hunters is a very good intro to the game in general. And eventually gets power crap. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. That's the unfortunate thing. This goes for any game that constantly adds characters. And that's the risk that always gets ran, right? Is like, Trapper's identity is he places bear traps. That is what Trapper is. How do you make that power viable and good while keeping that identity and also not making him frustrating to play against? I mean, I don't hate the idea of him maybe starting with more. I never liked the idea of him starting with all of them. The traps aren't powerful, but if he starts with all of them... Here's the thing people forget about him starting... And I've heard some arguments. One, again, if he gets you in basement and he starts with all of his traps, you're dead, basically. Like, there's not much you can do there. But two is if he brings something like Corrupt Intervention starting with all the traps... He can just set up his 3-gen at the beginning of the match and never worry about anything else ever again. Also, alert exists. Yeah, but the idea for Rookie Spirit is that it's supposed to tell you where the gen is at all times. That's the idea. But that's the thing. It's always going to be Trapper's problem, is that he can't... Because a lot of like the modernizations and ideas people have had for changing him, again, it just turns him into Skull Merchant, either version, realistically speaking. And I don't think that's the direction we need to go with him. The real question comes down to, does he need to be good? I ask this a lot about characters. Does he need to be good? It's the same thing I said about Myers before his rework, when people were asking for him to be updated. I guess we got our wish. But, like, does he need to be good? Does he need to be viable at all tiers of play? Because, honestly, I don't think every character needs to be viable at every tiers of play. I just don't. I don't think it's possible. It's not a matter of his player base revolting. It's a matter of, again, a loss of identity. That's the point I'm trying to make. Freddy's a good example of a killer that got a rework that worked. And say what you will about original Freddy, like the Freddy that had to put you in the dream world to do anything. Say what you will about that Freddy, how good or bad he was, depends on the player base at the time. Say what you will about that. It was unique. It was what Freddy was. No other killer did what he did. And no other killer has done what he did. And the reason they were able to get away with a rework for him to get away from that was because he wasn't in the game that long before they did it. That's the thing. He's a trap character. Trap characters are annoying as shit in every... It's the same problem with buffing Ghostface. I say this all the time. It's the same problem with buffing Ghostface. We could buff Ghostface. We could. It is not impossible. There are ways to buff this character. But because of his inherent design of being a stealth ambush character, It would be annoying as shit. Because then he would, I didn't even really think about this. If you buff Ghostface, he would basically be Spirit. Then we get Devil May Cry Trickster. The thing is, though, Trickster virtually plays the same. In every version of Trickster, he plays slightly differently, but he plays pretty much the same. You still throw knives at people. The difference is how many knives you get to throw, how you get main event, and, accuracy being rewarded over spamming. That's the difference. At the end of the day, though, he's still playing like Trickster always has. Again, it's the same thing with Pig. Like, we could massively, insanely buff the crap out of Ambush. We can make it insta down. We can make it charge faster. We can make it so she could do it while she's standing. We can make it break pallets. We can do all of these things to it. And remove reverse bear traps. And yes, that would probably make her viable. It would actually make her probably really good the more I think about it. But is it still the Pig? It's a Ship of Theseus question, right? I've talked about this years ago on Twitter, but like it's a Ship of Theseus question. For those that don't know what the Ship of Theseus is, it's a philosophical term. So there's a boat in I was gonna say I think it's Rome, but there's a boat in Rome. It goes out on a voyage for 6 months. It comes back. It has a bunch of planks missing and all this stuff. So they put new planks of wood on it, right? Okay. Is it a different boat? That's the thought experiment. Is it a different boat? And if the answer is no, okay, it goes out again, 6 more months, comes back. More planks are gone, so now they have to replace those again. Okay? Is it a new boat now? Okay, if your answer is still no, at what point does it become a new boat? Is it when over 50% of the planks are replaced? Is it when the name changes? Is it when 100% of the planks are changed? Does it never become a new boat, no matter what? What if they add something to it? Is it still the same boat? And that's how I always look at reworks for characters. Like, again, we could buff Trapper and make it so he can throw his traps. He can retrieve his traps from across the map. Doesn't matter if it's the same boat. It still floats. Yes. Because that is the identity of what the boat is. A simpler one is the same thought experiment, but it's Lincoln's hatchet, right? You have a hatchet. In fact, I'll do a visualization of this because I like this. I gotta let my philosophy degree do something. Also, chat, is apparently storming. I did not know it was going to storm, so I may or may not lose connection at some point, which is the main reason I'm not actually starting a match right now. I like the hatchet one more because it's much simpler to visualize. So okay, all right. We have a hatchet. Okay? All right? The head breaks. We get rid of the head. We put a new head on it. Is it the same hatchet? That's the question. That's the thought. That's the entire thought experiment. Is it the same hatchet? And if the answer is no, or yes, if the answer is yes, it's the same hatchet. Okay, this part breaks, and now we put a new one of those on. Is it the same hatchet? The whole thing has been replaced now. No, I just need a Monster Hunter sharpener. Because I feel that as the night goes, he becomes more dangerous. But if you get some steps ahead, you can beat him. Yeah, but the thing with that though is that he doesn't feel like the new Myers is a weird case too, because again he has an add-on that makes him the old version, so like that was nice of behavior to do. But it leads into that question though. He's not Myers anymore. He is in name, but is that all it takes? Is that all it is? Is that all a killer really is just their name? And their visuals? Does how they play have nothing to do with who the killer and what the killer is? Is basically Rob Zombie Myers. Yeah, that's a fair argument. I've heard some arguments for that. But again, the question comes down to, was that the right play to do? Was the right move in order to make him more viable and stronger to remove what made Myers Myers and make him... I know I made a whole video joking about people who do this. I'm just doing it for effect, but was it worth it just to make him Big Chucky? That's a genuine question. Is it more important for him to feel like he's Myers, or is it more important for him to be good? Also, Kid, I did see your statement about the C tier thing. I'm sorry. C tier towards the bottom. Yeah, fair enough. But that also, again, that leads into other arguments for it. It's like, how do we do that? How do we make Trapper better, again, without making him annoying or kind of like more like really boring to play against? It's the common conundrum with characters, especially in a game that keeps adding characters. How do you keep the original ones that were simple? How do they keep up? Well, you have to keep buffing them. Well, how far do we buff them? When you play OG Myers, do you feel like Evil Incarnate or like a pushover? I feel like I'm stalking the survivors to get to a point to where I can just run them down. I just don't like the new rework on principle. Not necessarily like the feeling and whatnot. When I think of Myers, I don't think of him like dashing at people the way he does. If they made it so like he got haste or something like that, then yeah, I think I'd be fine with this version instead of like the dash. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like Myers to me anymore. That's my point. I'm not saying the rework was necessarily bad, because clearly it wasn't. It worked. It did what they were trying to do, but it doesn't feel like Myers anymore. It's the same thing with Freddy. Like I said, it's like as bad as the original version of Freddy was, it felt like Freddy. Well, yeah, Lynx, that's where that question I asked earlier was like, does every killer need to be viable come from, right? Do they? Does every character in this game have to be viable? I think viable is the wrong word, but do they have to be good? Because technically speaking, every character is viable, quote unquote. Just depends on your definition of what viable means. It's, again, it's just like, how lore accurate are, or how good they should be, or how fun they are to play. Exactly. It's a bunch of questions, and this is what behavior has to do every time they think about buffing, or not even buffing, but reworking characters. It's like, what if, I'm speculating 100% here, but let's say behavior sees Blight's win rate is like 80%. This is just me throwing numbers out there. But let's say behavior sees that Blight's win rate is at 80% and he's being picked in 50% of matches. And they're like, okay, we have to rework Blight because he's too good for the game. Okay, all right, cool. If they reworked Blight so he didn't dash anymore, would he still be Blight? And is that worth it? No, I agree with that 100%, Lynx. I agree with that like 100%. I just think that some killers and some characters in games just will fall by the wayside naturally, just based on their design. Even though Bubba is extremely simple, that's what I expect from Bubba, a guy to play all. Exactly. Like, Bubba feels like Bubba to me. And I don't really want him changed. Yes, they could do quality of life buffs here and there to make him a little bit better. But, like, I don't want full reworks or anything. Same with Hag. Like, again, I know a lot of people have suggested making her 115. Would that make her super good all of a sudden? Probably not. Would it help? Yeah. Does it need to happen? That's another question. Even like Deathslinger, making him 115, does that fundamentally change how the killer plays? No. Would it be a nice buff? Maybe. Does he need it? Probably. Yeah, and I've said it before. Like, I've taught Myers was like the key example I brought up with this, because before his rework, I told people a lot. It's like, because of how Myers fundamentally is, unless they rework him, and I remember I said this exactly, unless they give him a dash, he won't be good. That is the shitty realization with DBD in particular. If your character doesn't have a mobility tool of some kind, they're probably going to suck. There's a couple exceptions, but not many. I mean, again, Blight and Kaneki are good examples of this. I'm not saying Kaneki's S tier. I'm just saying he's good. You could nerf Blight. You can make him 110. You can make it so he loses like a certain amount of tokens when he breaks a pallet like Kin does. But it doesn't matter because his dash makes him that good. And yeah, that's another problem. That's one that people complain about all the time is Nemesis, right? Like, he doesn't really feel like you're playing Nemesis necessarily, but he's okay. Sadako's a really good example. In my opinion, Sadako is really, really, really accurate to how I would think she would play in a game like Dead by Daylight. But that doesn't make her good. And I honestly don't really want them to change anything about Sadako. Because the problem with Sadako is they had to put a lot... They had to put a lot of her power budget into the Condemn. So they can't really buff her chase because her macro can is the key word there, can be so good that if they buff her chase, she might actually become too good. That's the thing that annoys me the most, people who aren't consistent in the way they say or believe, which is the embodiment of DBD's community, utterly inconsistent with the police. Well, I mean, don't... It depends, because, like, you know, people's minds change. And humans by nature are inconsistent in our beliefs. It's not an uncommon thing. I'm sure I've said something that's contradicted things I've said before. I probably said something in the conversation we've been having for the past 30 minutes that has contradicted what I've said before. But it's a weird tightrope that behavior has to walk, I feel. Houndmaster is another good example, right? Like, she's really buggy because of how the dog works. How do we fix that? Well, we make the dog... We get rid of the dog. Well, then she's not Houndmaster. She's just Master. And most of the more accurate character. Yeah. I think Demogorgon is an example of one that's really weird for me. On I don't know what you do. Because, to me, he doesn't really... And again, I'm not the biggest Stranger Things fan, so, like, I don't have a lot of stake in Demogorgon, but, you know, someone correct me if I'm wrong. But he doesn't really play like how I think Demogorgon should play. So, like, if they did a rework to Demogorgon, I think I'd actually be okay with it. But again, it does bring into question. Oh, like saying something blows and then glazing it on the dime? Like, non-ironically? Like, I mean, I do that shit all the time. Fucking jokingly. No, I get what you're saying. Like, my opinions have changed, obviously, before about, like, killer rankings. I still think current Myers is better than people give him credit for, but, you know. My opinion has been swayed a little. I do think I have said he's stronger than he actually is a lot. Husk is really good, but I mean, if you don't understand his basic, yeah. Well, it's not even the thing with mobility. And again, I say this, I've said this in a few videos before, is that mobility isn't just king in Dead by Daylight. It is king in every video game ever. Look at almost every video game tier list for like that have like characters. The ones that have mobility are usually, there's exceptions, but usually they're the ones at the top of the list. And the reason why is because mobility gives you options. That will always be the reason why. It's why Dracula is as good as he is. It's not because he himself is strong. It's because he has so many options and things he can do. Same thing with Vecna, like... Makes them much more mobile in both using portals and on foot. Yeah. It's a weird one. And, like, I think Xenomorph is a good example of, like, how accurate can you be? Because, again, the problem with making Xenomorph accurate is that wall climbing would be annoying to play against, as well as the motion sickness and the fact that the maps would have to be designed with that in mind now. And the facehuggers sound like a cool idea, but there's a lot of problems I can see with them, mostly with how do you apply them? How do the survivors get rid of them? And the fact that it would kind of like, again, it would move that power budget I mentioned with Sadako. Because again, the reason why Pig's dash or ambush can't be that good is because of the reverse bear traps. We can argue about the viability of the reverse bear traps, but that is part of her power budget. Yeah, there's about 40 sub. Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, and that's what I'm saying with her. Like, even like, yeah, like, I just don't think it's possible technology-wise. Again, people bring up the 2010 AVP game, right? But people forget that game was designed from the ground up with wall climbing in mind. I think it was one of the first things they did or made for that game was the wall climbing. People also forget that the Xenomorph campaign is 2 fucking hours long. A few ways to make mobility weak is is the nurse add-on that teleports her back to where she started if she doesn't hit someone. Does it? I thought you get the choice. Am I wrong? Yeah, once the nurse has exhausted all her blinks, allows the nurse to immediately blink back to her original position by pressing the active ability button. Must be triggered before she succumbs to fatigue. I was just saying it should be like automatic if you miss. Yeah, that's another thing. Like Springtrap's another good example. You know, if he was a pure stealth killer, he would be weak as shit. He would be accurate, sure, but he would be super duper weak. And that again is the tightrope they have to the tightrope they have to walk when adapting killers. And I think they did a good job of making him have the stealth elements. Because, let's be honest, I say this a lot, if Springtrap played like he did in the games, technically speaking, he would just never move if you were looking at him. I'm sure that sounds fun to play as. I just like my objectivity and clear consensus of solutions to problems. That's the thing, though. In a lot of situations like this, they don't have problems. Or don't have, like objective solutions. That's why a lot of people... And Lynx, this isn't me calling you out, but that's why a lot of people don't like philosophy. Because a lot of, like, philosophical questions don't have answers. That ship of Theseus and Hatchet thing I was saying earlier, there's no correct answer to that question. The whole point of that thought experiment is to help you understand how you see the world and how you understand things. That's the whole point. As much as we love some characters, they obviously have flaws and weaknesses. Xenomorph is an apex predator, but it's animalistic. Yeah, yeah. My thing with Springtrap 2 is a lot of people complain about, like, the axe, and I keep saying this, almost every version of Springtrap that's put into a game of some kinds, unofficially, mind you, I do need to put unofficially, has the axe. Alright, Sky, have a good one. But again, it's just like there isn't an objective answer. Again, like Deathslinger, should we buff Deathslinger to 115? What are the arguments for it? What are the arguments against it? I'll get okay without spoiling it, Sky. It's the last section. The last section is the part I did not like as Grace. I did not enjoy that at all. And it wasn't because of a particular thing. It was because of something else being added in there with the particular thing. That was my problem with it. Otherwise, love the game. Almost every aspect of it. Do people not understand how much of an impact the FNAF fandom has on the franchise? Yeah, I mean, I think some people forget. It's literally like half the reason, or it's like the entire reason FNAF's as big as it is. It's really shitty too because like Doctor, I think is a good example of a killer they buffed a little bit, and I think he's in an okay spot now, and that's fine. But none of them should be pushovers. I agree, but again, it comes down to designs, in my opinion. Like, again, how do you make a character that traps a location without them being really annoying to play against while also being viable. Or not pushovers. Oh, your AR push came in? That's good. That's good. Every time I hear Roxanne Wolf, I just think, I have been crushed by a Faz forklift. You cannot drive this. You are not Faz forklift certified. Over half of the FNAF lore is community speculation. Yeah. Claymores instead of bear traps. Fuck it, let's just get Trapper Martyrdom. You set him with a pallet, the pallet explodes and does damage. Let's just give him acidic blood from Xenomorph base kit. Fuck it. Is that a Faz shotgun? Oh, that fucking video is so good. Again, like, it's just like, I don't know. Because the other thing, too, is like power creep, right? People talk about power creep. And the thing is, power creep is kind of inevitable, especially if you want the game to grow. Because a lot of times, I don't even think it's necessarily power creep, it's feature creep. Like, I think a good example is like Wesker, right? Wesker, a lot of people argue, has been power crept because of the other dash killers. Is he power crept or feature crept? But there are things that still Wesker has that the other dash killers don't have. The infection system is the biggest thing he has over the other killers. The fact that he throws the survivors. You know, I mentioned this in that one video where I was talking about differences with killers and like to stop comparing them because there's no need to. Yeah, power creep comes from iterating and perfecting on a mechanic, exactly. And yeah, sometimes it happens in weirder ways than we think. Like Huntress, for example, like again, she's the mother of all the range killers, right? Okay, who was the next range killer? It was Deathslinger. Okay, Deathslinger is Huntress, but with limited range, doesn't have a charge up, and has to pull you in to get the hit. He can also reload anywhere. Then the next, technically it's Pyramid Head, but the next range killer was Trickster. He has to hit you multiple times, and he reloads at lockers. Next range killer was Artist, who was like kind of like a hybrid of like a ranged trap killer. And the way they did it with her was her ranged attack has unlimited range, but it has to hit the survivors twice unless they're really close, like a shotgun. Next one after that, Unknown. His is an AoE blast that has to hit twice. Depending on who you ask, Howlmaster's a ranged killer. The difference is she can redirect her shot. And then Vecna, he's a ranged killer, but it's like he has to put you in a state to be able to do damage. And it comes from the ground. Yeah, and then the smaller hitboxes as well, the hitbox differences. And like with Springtrap, I can't believe I missed Springtrap as a range killer. And in Springtrap, it's the arc. That's the whole thing that makes Springtrap is the arc of the axe. Now, we can argue whether or not it's good, but it does separate him and make him different. Again, it's such... Oh, it's more complicated than I think a lot of people try to make it out to be. Because I think for a lot of people, it's like, oh, just make Trapper fucking OP and everything's fine. But I don't think that's the solution. Do we count Dracula as a range killer? Why do people care so much about Houndmaster Dash and Smash? Yeah, no, yeah, I mentioned in a lot of my Springtrap videos, his axe is a utility tool. It's not supposed to be the main thing. No, I get what you meant, though. And Lynx, the answer to your question, I don't know if you meant to say Smash after that, but the answer to your question, why do people care so much about it? Humans like to categorize things, and when we can't, fucking it really fucking messes with us. Because of Hellfire. I mean, I don't really. That's a weird distinction too. It's like the difference between projectile and range, right? Because I don't think it has enough range to really. It's the reason why I didn't classify Pyramid Head either. Because if Dracula's a range killer, then Xenomorph is a range killer, and so is Nemesis. Get it, Count Dracula? Just make a new category? Yeah, but if nothing else goes in the category, then the category has no point. Then it's not a category, it's just them. League of Legends did that. They have the specialist category. I don't even know who's in that category anymore. But it's a really funny category. Hang on. League Champ. Subtypes? I think it's subtypes. Classes. It's champion classes. God, this website has a shit ton of... Yeah, like League, like I don't know if this is accurate anymore. Is this accurate now? Yeah. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Yeah. So this is every class in League of Legends controller, and then you're either an enchanter or a catcher. You got fighter. You're either a juggernaut or a diver. Mage. You're either burst, battle, or artillery. Marksman, slayer, which falls under assassin and skirmisher. Tanks. You're either a vanguard or a warden, and then there's specialist, which is the class for people who don't have a class. That's what this is. This is for the characters that just don't fall into a class. There are more characters in this than I realized. You want to make Snug and Houndmaster having a ship of Theseus debate? That's hilarious. Do it. Do it. But then where this gets complicated, by the way, for League, is when a character is in two classes. Especially when they're opposing classes. Like, what if you're a marksman, but you're also an enchanter? Oh, I forgot controller. I'm sorry. Actually, I said this wrong. Yeah, because a fighter doesn't have to be a juggernaut or a diver. They can just be a fighter. Pull a Pokemon. Something can be multiple categories at once. And, you know, League's done some weird stuff. I mean, we've had assassin supports. We've had ranged tanks. Like, we've had a support AD carry. They did a jungle support. You like tiny, small characters. That's what that tells me about you. Just like the ship of Theseus, I guess. But again, isn't the ship more of a personal question that has no objective answer? So, like, why argue if you know the other person sees it differently? To help broaden their perspective and your own. That's the whole point of a philosophical question. There's the men in the shadow. That's a philosoph. I don't really think it's a question. It's more like a philosophical take. So there's three guys in a cave. There's three guys in a cave. They're locked up. They're chained. They can't move. The only thing they can see is a wall in front of them, and there's a torch behind them. And all they can see on this wall is the shadows of things behind them. One day, one of the men is released out of the cave. And he sees the real world, and then he comes back. And then he's telling the other two guys about what he saw out there. And they don't believe him and call him crazy. Because they've never seen it. All they know is the shadows. So what he's saying makes no sense to them. Yeah, that's that's not a question. That is just a philosophical stance, basically. It's just a story of explanation on how perspective works. But with the ship of Theseus, again, it's just about finding an understanding between people. Understanding what they think and trying to figure out why they think it. Why would I want to broaden my perspective? My rock is perfectly comfortable and I have access to water. Why would you come back? He's forced back, basically. But yeah. Why would you come back? You know, I never really thought about that part of the story. He's forced back. There's a train coming from Illinois, a train coming from New York. If train A is moving at 150 miles, are there clowns on the train? What does that have to do with anything? I don't know. I love philosophical questions, though. They really do, like... And, you know, people's answers... It's like the trolley problem, right? That's probably the most well-known philosophical question. If there's one person on a track and three people on a track, and you can pull a lever and the track will move and kill the one person, would you do it? That's a philosophical question. And everyone's answers are usually different, depending on how they see things. If you're a pragmatist, then you're going to say the one person. If you change the one person to someone they know, then they might change their answer. If instead of flipping a switch, you have to shove the person in front of the train, people will change their answer because now they're more personally involved. If the three people were already dying and the one person's young, people would change their answer. Some people wouldn't, though. Some people will go pure pragmatist and just be, it doesn't matter who the one person is. One person dying versus three will always be better. If you go 3 miles south, 3 miles east, 3 miles north, and end up where you started, what color is the closest bear? I'm going to go with brown. I'm going to go with brown. Final answer. As I think about a lot of this, especially with like game balance talks, not just DBD, but you know, any game, it's like there is no definitively correct answer. Something is going to make somebody mad somewhere. They're not going to like what you did, and they might have a valid reason to not like it. And then that leads into a question. Do you do something because more people said to do it? Or do you do something because it's actually the right thing to do? There's a trolley that's not moving, and I'm inside of the trolley, and Adolf is on one track and Robert is on the other. Do you or do you not switch the tracks? Well, it's not moving, so it doesn't matter what I do. White, you're at the North Pole. Damn it! There I go, profiling again. I don't know. It's just like there's just no correct answer. It's just the unfortunate thing of it. It's again like I think like, you know, I bring this up with Skull Merchant a lot, right? There's not that many people who play Skull Merchant. I say this a lot. Should we only be listening to the people who play her for what changes should be done? Or should we be listening to the people who don't play her, but changes they want to her to make them play her? Who's more important? Or do we just do changes to her that make her stronger? It's the problem. It really is, especially when opinions are brought in. I forgot to mention the trolley was broken down. Maybe you should have broadened your perspective and reflected on the transport industry. All right, you're gonna make fun of my degree now, Lynx? Thank you for that. The people who already play are totally not biased. Yeah, see, I mean, but no, if that's genuinely what you think, I know you're kind of joking, but like, if that's genuinely what you think, that's genuinely what you think. But the question is, what should behavior do, right? What do they think? It's the problem with like changing Springtrap, right? This character is really popular. So how do you change him in a way that keeps everyone happy? Or do you not care if everybody's happy? What if it's better for the game? What if he's unhealthy? Like Ken, for example. A lot of people play Ken. Who do we listen to? Only the mains? What about the people who casually play him? What about the people who play against him? It's why I don't envy behavior with their balancing decisions. They do blatantly fuck up sometimes. I think Fast Track is a very good example of that. But like, where should their decision making come from? Who should they listen to the most? It's just like, so you think they should go for a pragmatist perspective? That's what Superman would do. That actually, technically, it's not a pragmatist perspective. I think that would be utilitarian. It doesn't really work the same way for like game design as it does for like sociology. It does to a degree, but not the same. I guess it would be more utilitarian because it's like, well, no, utilitarian would be doing the thing that makes the most sense. Well, exactly, Lynx, and I feel like that's kind of what they did to Myers. But Myers is a good example of the opposite, though, right? His play rate went up when his rework happened. Was it worth it? Was it worth losing what Myers was so more people would enjoy him? What about Blight? He's one of the most popular killers in the game. I think that's why behavior hasn't nerfed him. At least I'm pretty sure. Again, like it's not a perfect solution, and one way isn't necessarily better than the other. It's just a different way. That's all. Yeah, from a retainment and revenue perspective, sure, 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 sure. But what about the people who enjoyed the old version? Again, Myers is a different a weird case because again they gave him that add-on, but now anyone who wants to play the old version has to run that add-on. But again, is it worth it just so he's enjoyed by more people? I personally say no, but other people would disagree. It's just a weird. Again, weird's the wrong word. It's a question that doesn't have a definitive answer. I just like the idea of everyone has a shiny quarter rather than only a few. I want as many people to be as happy as possible. I can't help but think that's the best thing to do for people. The problem is that sometimes that comes at the cost of the outliers. That's the problem with that. Or that's what can be the problem with it, and that is the problem with it. And Dead by Daylight's in a weird situation too because there's more survivor players than killers. So we have to make the killers like you also have to make it so the people playing against it are also happy. I think it depends on what you do to a character and what characters already exist. Dash killers are popular and there are a lot of them, so you should change a killer like Scully to Dash because I mean they tried to make her a projectile killer for a minute there. And again, that leads back into the whole identity thing, too. What if, let's say in theory, I'm going to get off Myers as the example, but let's say, what if I really, really, really enjoy Ghostface? And I like him because of his stealthy gameplay, because of how he plays. Right? He's not good. I'm aware he's not good. I'm fine with that. Me personally. But to make him better and stronger, they give him a dash. Now I don't enjoy the character because he doesn't play like how I used to like him to play. Should my feelings on that be dismissed to make him more appealing to more people? Again, some would say yes. Some would say no. Well, this is going to be a really long Yap video, isn't it? Same with Chucky. I've heard people say they don't like how basic Chucky is. They want him to be more of a stealth ambush character. And I get where they're coming from with that. I just like the way Chucky plays. People want him to have more added to his kit and, like, giving him options and hidey-ho to be a little bit more complex. I don't fully agree with that. It's one thing I really like about Vecna, I've said before, is like Vecna is like this. No, I was combining them in my head. I like that Vecna is like he's a pure utility killer. It shows that a killer doesn't necessarily have to have a damaging ability or an ability that You don't have to have something that directly affects the survivors for it to be an actual power. Yeah, people want Springtrap to have better range. And then it's like, well, I thought you guys didn't want him to play like Huntress. It's just like, and I know this rant's been going on for a while. Welcome to the stream, by the way, if you're new. It's just there's no perfect answer. And Trapper is kind of the poster boy of that. No, that is relevant, Lynx. It's very relevant. I think Revenant's a very good example of that. Because, like, no one plays like Revenant used to. And if you really enjoyed how he played, you don't really have an option anymore. And again, the question becomes, if there wasn't that many people who enjoyed Revenant, is it worth it? Do we change him to make him... I don't know Apex, so I don't really... Or that well. I don't know if he's good now. I assume he is. But to make him more appealing to more people. Revenant had a bunch of other problems, though, because silence is... I mean... Listen. If there's one gameplay philosophy I don't fully agree with, it's silences probably should never exist in a game. They never work. They're either too good or too weak. I think the only game that's ever done it right was Valorant. And that's because it's not just a silence, it's also an info tool. Like, an example I bring up a lot is like Aurelion Sol. He's a really good example of a rework. He had a very low player base. Not very many people played him. The people who did play him loved him. He was completely unique. He played like no other character in the entire game. And he was decently good. Like, if you took the time to learn him, you could do very well in League of Legends playing Aurelion Sol. Then, they reworked him and made him a more generic mage to appeal to more people. And again, the question there is, was that the right call? From a business perspective, yes, because now you have more people to sell those skins to. Okay. From a competitive perspective, probably also yes, because now more people can play the character and add them to their roster because he's easier to understand and more close to the other characters. But from those people who liked his unique playstyle and how he was, they have nothing now. Apex is a very competitive game and geared towards that. I think this argument is skewed towards characters being viable over there. That's also another part of it. You know, Dead by Daylight isn't the most competitive game in the world. Again, I mean, we 4K'd, what, 4 of the match, or 3 of the 4 matches we played with fucking Padded Jaws Trapper? And I probably shouldn't have, to be fair. Yeah, no, we talked about Myers. I'm trying to move away from Myers because I don't want him to be the entire focus of the game. I miss silencing Wraith. They run around that like headless chickens without their jail refills. I mean, it's. It's just such a hard, like, what is the actual answer to the question? Because, again, there isn't one. It just comes down to a lot of other factors. And then there's other questions to be asked. Again, it's like, is that design healthy? Should it have existed in the first place? that like get thrown into the mix and like kind of, I don't, muddy the water isn't the right phrase, but muddy the water basically, right? Muddy the water would imply that it makes the conversation harder than it needs to be. It's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say like it adds other factors into the conversation. It doesn't necessarily make it harder. It just, I guess it does make it harder, but yeah. I don't know though. It's the same, like I said with Trapper. It's like I would love for them to try buffs. I think that's my biggest thing though with a lot of this. I want them to try stuff. I definitely do. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe him starting with all of his traps wouldn't be that big of a deal. There's no way to know unless we test it. Same with him. What if he can get his traps from across the map? Would that be that powerful? Who knows? What if the ship of Theseus had a side grade that had everything the captain wanted? And if Myers had a side grade character that played like him but wasn't him? yeah. What? Well, no. There actually is a version of that that's kind of like that. Links. If you take a boat motor, okay, you have a boat, and you take the motor, and you take away all the components of the motor, and put it into a car and make a car engine out of it, and put that in a car. Is that boat now a car? Or was it always a car? Is it the frame that makes the thing the thing? What if you take a bike and add 2 more wheels to it? And then give it an inside. Like give it like a chassis. A slow car. That's true. That's true too. Like, if I go back to the hatchet example, too, like, you have a stick. It's just a stick. Okay? You put a sharp piece of metal on the top of it. Now it's a hatchet. Does the stick still exist? Patchy the Pirate's fucking from SpongeBob. Like, again, like, it is an interesting question to a degree. Every ship can sink. Submarines are only ships that have come back up. I assume you meant have it come back up. It's like you have a chair or a stool, right? It's a stool. 4 legs and a place to sit. If you add a back piece to it, is it now a chair? No? Okay, what if you had armrests to it? Is it now a chair? Still no? Okay, what if you cut the legs off and make it shorter? Is it now a chair? It's really like peanut butter and chocolate. Both can be separate entities. If it's combined, then it becomes something new. Not one without the other mentality. Well, yeah, but I was trying to compare it more to a side grade. I picked a bad example. I think the example I just gave was probably a better like question about like side grades, right? Like if you have a stool and you add a backrest to it and armrests and cut the legs in half, is it now a chair? A stool is what the doctors take a sample. True! Oh, want. I thought you said take. Want the sample. And then with the stool question, that's a, I think that's the closest like real world example I can think of that would be kind of like a rework to something, because it still serves the same function. You can still sit in it or on it, but it's not a stool anymore, is it? What makes a stool in the first place? Why not just call it a chair? Fair point, also. And see, that's why categories matter. And there's like other ones. Like if you take a spoon, if you take a spoon and like put slits in the spoon, is it now a fork or is it still a spoon? What determines what it is? Its function? Well, no, a stool and a chair are two different things. Is it a spork? No, so well, and we're kind of getting a little bit off of like game design with it. I'm just using them as analogies for like reworks, basically. But like with a car, like I think a car is another good example, right? Like if I have like a V4, if I have like a 4-cylinder engine in my car, and I change the engine to an 8-cylinder, is it the same car? What if you flatten it? So now it can't be used as a spoon. Is it still a spoon? If I sit on something, it is the chair until I get off. Again, it really does lead into the questions of what to rework, how to rework, when to rework it a little bit. It's not the exact same thing, of course. Honestly, like I said, I'm using analogies, but still. Into a Chevy equals no. It doesn't turn it into a completely different car, but is it a different car? What if you replace the wheels? And then the doors? And then the axles? I don't know why you would do it in this order, but yeah. What if you remove the tailgate? What if you had a bench seat to the back? At what point is it a new car? Or not a new car, a different car? Car is car, unless it's truck or SUV. But even like in that example that links, what if okay, you have a Chevy and a Ford. You swap out the engines on both of them. Then you swap out the tires. Then you swap out the axles. Then you swap the doors. At what point do they just become the other truck? Or are they something completely different? And if so, at what point does that happen? Is it just the name? Again, like that's the weird. Like, what if like they reworked Myers? I can't believe I'm bringing it up again. What if they just reworked Myers again, like, and he now throws his knife? It's still Myers, right? Vehicle is vehicle. Hey, I'd rather be a smartass than a dumbass. And technically, they just move places. That's a fair assessment of it. Well, chat. We played 4 Trapper matches. That was kind of just the joke for the stream. And I again, I know I go on yapping sessions, but I think it's a very interesting question. Like, genuinely, like, where is the line? When is a rework? When is it, like, deleting an old character? Is it worth it to do it so more people enjoy the character, you know? And again, I hope I haven't, like, pissed anyone off or anything. And I'm not trying to come off confrontational. Object is object. Well, no, now it's bond. It's bound by exception. So now it's bound. Bound is bound. Chalk that up as the dumbest joke I'm gonna make in like a week. Oh, wait, Lynx, does the mask come off of the Roxanne plush, or does it just... Or is she just holding it? Either way, that's cool. New philosophy. Everything is atoms and nothing more or less. I think that actually is a philosophical thought. Or, like, school. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I knew it was. Yeah. It's literally called atomism. It's just her face? Okay, okay. Surprise, Luna. Oh, that... I'm stupid. I'm so sorry. I did not realize that was Luna. Okay. What the fucking brain rotted my dumbass is? I thought this was fucking... I thought this was Roxanne's fit. I'm stupid. I'm sorry. Whoops. It's lucky heavy as hell. I don't know, all my plushies are fucking really light. They just sit in the corner of my bed. But chat, I think with that we're gonna call it there. I know this is a weird April Fool's stream. The joke was just playing Trapper all night. And I mean, we got 4 matches out of it. Most of them were pretty fun, so I'm gonna take that for what it's worth. We'll be back to Pyramid Head tomorrow. And again, I do hope that I didn't come off as like... Because again, the problem with like philosophical conversations, especially when they don't have a definitive answer, is that the person giving them, which is in my case me, can come off as like a condescending, pretentious asshole. And I never want to come off that way. I know sometimes I do, but like I try my best not to. But yeah, that's pretty much it. But in any case, chat, I love you guys as always. Have a good one.